Okay, this might be the final part, I suspect. No, well, not the final part, but of borrowing costs. Okay, great. So we have borrowing. What else is it that we have to think about? Um, when it's possible to borrow loans from two different companies or three different companies. So that's very possible. So if you like, when we're trying to work out the average cost or the interest to use, um, we can pull the loan together and work out what the average interest is, which is just assuming that all the money has come from one place and almost kind of work out what the average cost is. So this is a nice example to explain it. So for example, if you like, if so for example you have if you've taken out two loans and your first loan is for 10 million, it's a 6% loan, and your second loan is for 2 million, if you like, at 8%, we sort of we can work out a nice weighted average is an average based on, if you like, sort of size, because you can see you have two loans that are different in size here and they have two different interest rates. So in a way, it's sort of saying, okay, you know what, let's calculate, if you like. I suppose the technical term would be what would be the effective interest, if you like. What is the effective interest rate? What percentage on the money in total did you really borrow? Are you really paying back? So really, it's a case of, well, let's actually calculate the interest you'll be paying. So here at 6% times 10 million plus 8% times 2 million divided by what you actually borrowed. So you're going to be paying 760 back on what you actually borrowed. So the effective interest rate really is 6.33. If you think about it that way, then you sort of understand where it is you're going. So yes, I think that's really what's going on here. So when we're doing our calculations, we sort of just use the 6.33 as our percentage when we're doing our calculations in the question. We just use 6.33. We don't use these individual numbers because the loan is all mixed together. The problem is we don't know. Sometimes the assumption here is that we've taken both at the beginning of the year. You see what I mean? So say for example we're taking the first one for the first 10 months and this for the next 2 months. Yeah, that's okay. You can then sort of separate the two and use it for the periods. But when you take both at the beginning of the year, the question becomes, well, how do I know what percentage to use? And that's why we go through this process. And of course, I think we highlighted it earlier on, but the key point here is that once you stop production, once you stop construction, any interest you incur after this is pretty much just a finance cost. You cannot capitalize it. Yes, so capitalization of borrowing costs stops when all activity necessary to prepare the qualifying asset for its intended use are complete and construction is suspended, right? You have that scenario. So yes, this is the last one for borrowing costs. So on the 1st of January, Syensqo begins to construct a supermarket with an estimated useful life of 40 years. And it buys the site. It buys the site for 25 mil. That's 25 million plus, and the construction is 9 million. And the fixtures and fittings are worth 6 million. And that's how we arrive at he says it borrows 40 million. That's how we arrive at our 40 million. And we borrowed the money on the 1st of Jan, but construction stopped on the 31st of September. So yes, it was brought into use on the 1st of January, but this is when construction stopped. And that's the important thing. So, and you repaid the loan on the 30th of June 2006. So the key point is, like I said, you can borrow money and do different things with it. You can borrow money to lend money. That's your problem. Or your business, sorry. My point is, as far as the capitalization of any costs are concerned to do construction, you can only do it for the period in which you're constructing. And that is 1st of January 2005 to the 30th of September 2005. So, what are we doing here? Yes, so the question here is really, what is that? What is that? You borrowed 40 million times 10%. That's technically 4 million. This is for a whole year, but you can only do this for 9/12ths of the year, right? Because January to September is 9 months. So you have 9 months of the year, and then it becomes 3 million. So I can capitalize 3 million. So as part of my asset cost, I will have 25 plus 9 plus 6 plus 3, and therefore I'm able to capitalize 43 million. Right, great stuff, and that's really the end of that video, that section on borrowing costs, and I believe we might be moving on to the last part of the chapter, which is on investment property, IAS 40. Okay, see you in that video.